Hi, Joni here. Today I'm going to talk more about spiritual geography, a little bit more explanation. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to talk about judgment, the way we judge other people and their spirituality. So when I was developing spiritual geography as a framework for looking at our personal spirituality, I developed it with a grid. That there were ways that we understand, there are ways that we experience our spirituality. And the other part of the grid is that there are ways we interact with other people and their spirituality. So I've said before that spiritual geography is not about specific beliefs, religious beliefs per se. This is not an exercise in comparative religion. It is about how we personally interact with that which is transcendent. Now, the issue of belief does creep in the quadrant that talks about how we understand other people's spirituality and their belief system. So in that, we can have beliefs in the certainty of our beliefs, as well as that our way is the right way to believe, and other people should believe that way too. Now, I used to say for many years that I was very open-minded about other people's spirituality, and I was curious about it, finding it interesting, the different ways that people connect to the divine, the different names of God, and that curiosity propelled me to a lot of things. So I would say that I was open-minded and non-judgmental, with the exception of people who were very certain about their path and that their path was the right one. And those people I was judgmental about. I was judging them. And I recognized that this was hypocritical, that I couldn't call myself non-judgmental when I was judging. I was judging. And I lived this way for many, many years, understanding my hypocrisy, but not really choosing to do anything about it. Then I started talking to people who were in that category that I had been judging. And I found this great variety of religious experiences and an intense way that some people can explore their own spirituality, their relationship with God, that there was a lot of good things about how people with that kind of belief system can explore and deepen their relationship with the divine. Now, by listening to people, it didn't mean that it changed my beliefs. It didn't change how I liked to experience my world and how I like to think about it. But it did soften how I see other people. But I think what's interesting, because I talk to a lot of people about their spirituality, and I go to a lot of different kinds of events, that I used to think that this religious certainty was only in religious people. But that's not true. What I found is that atheists can be just as dogmatic as someone who is a conservative religion of some sort. And that people who are spiritual but not religious can be just as judgmental about religious people as religious people can be judgmental about spiritual but not religious. I remember one time, I guess it was about 6 years ago or so, I was at a meditation group, and within that group there is a lot of religion bashing, and I I felt uncomfortable speaking up. And this one man was there, and he was talking about his experience going to a church that someone had invited him to, and he felt that everyone there was wrong, and that he was the only one, because he was doing a meditation while they were worshiping. He was the only one who was seeing the truth and pointing to the truth. And it made me so uncomfortable. And I didn't really understand why until I was driving home that night, and I realized that kind of dogmatism is what I truly dislike. It doesn't matter where it comes from. If you start judging other people because their religious expression is different than yours, then you're missing the beauty of their experience, the place they are on their personal spiritual mountain. And I've become rather vocal about telling people who are probably spiritual but not religious that there is great benefit and beauty in religion, just as much as I find myself telling religious people who might be judgmental that there is great beauty and expression and strength in someone exploring a spiritual path outside of religion. So I'm a lot of fun to be around. But there is judgment everywhere. And I ask that we explore this with an open mind so that we can listen to each other and learn. And maybe the walls that we put up will just get brick by brick lowered. So I thank you for listening. And until the next video, I say enjoy your journey, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.